started doing fights last year here in January, and we've gotten such a warm reception every single fight we've ever done here, and the fans have been great. And I honestly, I only seen a couple of the fights, but I did see one of the knockouts, and it was sensational. I mean, overall, I guess I'm pretty happy with the card. I know that the co-main event was a sensational fight, but because no one knew either one of the guys, you know, the crowd's really not going crazy and getting into it. But, you know, a real credible fight fan would definitely recognize it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, talk about Mason Menard. He improved to, I believe, 27-1 with 20 knockouts tonight. He was able to knock him out in the second round. Just talk about what you thought of his performance tonight.
I thought he did well. I thought he got hit with a couple of shots that he shouldn't have got hit with. And I told him I had watched film on the guy, and the guy was relatively slow compared to Mason, because Mason is like, he has really fast hands. And I just told Mason to watch him. I said, you watch both of his hands, you watch his feet, you watch what he's doing, and we're going to just close the gap. And I said, you know, hopefully we can get him out of here. I mean, the kid's fought. He's never had a soft touch. He's fought some real fights, and he was 14-5. And I mean, but Mason hit him with a body shot, and my sound and lighting guy told me, he said, I seen the guy's ribs like actually move from the stage. And I guess I kind of took it out of him, but after that it was downhill for the kid. I mean, for what it was, the kid he fought, I mean, I'm happy he got the win. I'm happy he got the knockout. But we will be looking to step up real soon.
Mm-hmm. In 2014, about how many times do you think the fans will get to see Mason, and also you expect him to really step up his competition level?
He will definitely step up. I mean, last year we had a lot. Mason's been plagued with injuries all year long. His hand, his shoulder, his elbow, and every time, I mean, there was a couple cards I was going to pull him from, but because I have OSPT physical therapist, and I have Dr. Lazaro, and I have Dr. Abshire, these guys like work overtime. Like Mason's hurting, I'll call them or text them, and they'll say, bring him right now. I'm going to meet you at my office. And they go and they work on him, and that's a blessing. So he's had fights, and he's had a lot of soft touches this year. I'm going to be the first to say it. But you know, when you need the kid, and he needs to fight, and he's hurt, you do what you have to do.
Do you have a fight card in the works? When will be your next fight?
I don't have anything in the works right now. This was my 7th show this year. I'm praying that they had another entity that was here tonight at the fights, and they were watching, and I'm just hoping that like the whole show was presented well enough that they would maybe look at us and maybe want to do something in the future with us, because I think that like literally they're fixing to try to take over the boxing world.
I was wondering if you'd like to make any closing remarks or say anything to the boxing fans out there.
I mean, I appreciate the fans from around here. I know there's a lot of people that don't know Mason, and you know, you go on YouTube and you can't find video on him. Last year we put Mason in the Lonnie Smith fight, and Skipper Kelp told me, been knowing Skipper since the early 80s, National Golden Gloves, and Skipper Kelp told me, he said, man, we look for film on this guy everywhere. When we can't find no film, I said, because he's a secret weapon. And I mean, literally, he beat Lonnie Smith, dropped him in the first round, dropped him in the second round, and clearly beat him every single round. I mean, he probably lost 2 or 3 rounds in the fight. So basically, no one really knows what he's capable of. No one really knows how good he is. No one really knows if he can really fight. And I know that he can really fight. So